Hello and welcome to FoodTech 101. Now, as you can probably or possibly guess, I'm back in my classroom, but today there are no students in, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to sort of do one of my food experiments. Now, there's a practical I did, or a video I did about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, back in 2018, where I explored how to make Rice Krispies from home. Now, what I'd done, I'd seen some videos of people that looked like they were in rural India, and I was just amazed by their ingenuity and how they can make this popular product, but without any real technical bits of equipment or machinery. Now, Rice Krispies, you would think, is just rice gone through a process of allowing it to puff up. In some cases, they can be. Actual Rice Krispies, I think, are not made like that. I think actual Rice Krispies are a mixture of rice made into a paste with chemicals and with flavorings and sugar added and made into little pellets and then explode and then heated so they puff up, and it's quite a process. Well, you can just make Rice Krispies from actual rice. And I watched them doing this in these raw videos. Now, the first time I did the video, I wasn't quite sure exactly what they were doing. I was watching it, but there was no instructions and it wasn't in English. So I was watching it, looking at different methods, but unsure of why they were doing what they were doing. Now, since then, I posted a video and it's gone semi-viral. It's had over 60, almost 70, over 70,000 views. And a lot of people who commented are people from India saying, well, actually, you use this technique, but maybe this technique might work better. So based on their feedback and also me exploring different methods of cooking on Google and on Wikipedia, I have now figured out exactly what they're doing in the video, and it's much simpler and much easier than what I thought it was. So this time I'm going to have a go at making Rice Krispies again, not at home at school, but Rice Krispies from home, but using a better method, a healthier method, and an easier method. Before we get started, just do me a quick favor. Click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so you'll be the first to know whenever I upload a new video. Okay, let's get to it. Now let me just remind you, I'll talk you through the different stages that I watched in the various videos I watched, because I watched so many videos because I wanted to really understand how this process worked. Now, step one, when I was looking at this video, and I'll show you the video as I'm going through this, it was like a rural Indian setting, and they're in like I'm not quite sure what I would describe. It wasn't quite a factory, but maybe the rural equivalent of a factory. And there's a woman sitting on the floor, and she had a tub with some rice in it. And she was putting water, a small amount of water in the rice, and mixing it around. And I couldn't figure out, well, what on earth is that little tiny bit of water being mixed around through the rice going to do? And then from that mixed little bit of water in the rice, they transferred it to another section where they dried it out. And for the adding of the water and drying out, I couldn't figure out exactly what that was all about. I now know what it was about. What they were doing was a form of parboiling the rice. Sometimes you get rice, easy cooked rice, or different forms of rice, and they've been part cooked. So they've been heated in liquid, part cooked, and then fully dried out. So it's almost like shortcutting the cooking process. Rice typically takes about, depending on what kind of rice it is, it can take anything from half an hour to an hour. If you have some really whole grain rice, that can take maybe up to an hour or more to cook all the way through properly. Some white rices, they can take about 20 minutes, half an hour. But when you parboil rice, you part cook it. You cut the cooking time down by about half, because you're half cooking it, then drying it back out, and then selling it as a dried product, so it doesn't take as much heating, as much cooking. And that's what they were doing. I figured it out now. So, parboiling. Now, the parboiled rice, you can do it in two different ways. You can just lob it in some boiling water, basically half cook it, so it starts to get a tiny little bit soft, drain it off, and dry it off. You can dry it off by leaving it out, or you can dry it off by putting it in an oven to heat off. There's different ways of doing it. With whole grain rice, you could put boiling water on it, leave it overnight, it'll swell up a little bit, and then completely dry it out again. There are lots of different methods to parboiling, but you can even buy parboiled rice. And I'll give you some good links to where you can get some of these products I talk about in the video below. So, step one, parboil some rice, dry it out, or you can start off with parboiled rice, as I'm going to do in this video here. So the first part, they were parboiling the rice. I didn't understand that. Bit of water, mixing it around, drying it off. I was thinking, what on earth is that going to do? It's parboiling or part cooking the rice. That's stage one. The next stage now, which I'm figuring out, is that they had what appeared to be sand. It looked like sand to my eyes, and they were heating it up in like a giant wok type container thing, and then they were putting in this rice, and then it just go pop, 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 and it started to pop up into Rice Krispies. They're like, no way, is that for real? But it actually is, and I'm going to show you. Now, as I was researching, I discovered that some parts of the world use the same process, and they use actual sand. Now, I tried it with sand and it does work, but I found that when I was doing it with sand, it was difficult to fully sift off all the sand from the rice, so you end up with a little bit of sand on it. But the sand process does work. And then some other people, when I was on the video, lots of other people commented and said they use salt. In India, they use salt. So what I did, I've got some black salt. Now, I'll tell you the importance of black salt in a minute. But again, I'll leave the link to where you can get this particular product in the description below, so you can buy some black salt. It's like baking salt. You don't actually use it as an ingredient, you just bake in it, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But the benefit of using black salt is that when you put the rice in it and it explodes or it puffs up, it's white. So if you use white salt, it's difficult to see the salt from the actual puffed rice itself. So black rice, it's kind of preheated in some cases, and it's black. So it's just regular salt, but it's black, which is a little bit hard to come by. And then you could just use it to cook in, and then when it's cooled down, just pour it off back into a container, stick it in the cupboard for when you want to do it next time. So I've got some black salt with me now. Again, I'll leave a description in the link below. And the process is really stupid simple. Once you know how to do it, it's really simple. Parboiled rice, preheat your sand, put your rice in, mix it around. The rice should go pop, 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 pop. If it's at the right temperature, you get a sieve. The sieve parts are very important. The sieve should be the perfect size so that you can scoop the stuff out, and it can very, very quickly drain off the excess salt, so you can put it to one side. Because as you'll discover, that if you're scooping it out and it takes you too long to get the rice grains out, they'll simply overcook and they'll burn quite quickly. So I've sourced all these different components to put together a little bit of a home Rice Krispie making kit. They'll also have step-by-step instructions, so just check out the link below. Let's call it my first FoodTech 101 product. I'm quite excited about that. So now, without further ado, I'm going to quickly actually make some before your eyes so you can see I am legit. Okay, let's do it. Step one, I put my black salt in. And then the first step is you've got to heat it. And it's important that it's heated really hot, otherwise you won't get the reaction. So to give you an idea, I normally just gauge it, and if in doubt, you can throw a rice grain in to see how it pops up. But if you have a temperature gauge, you're looking at a temperature around about over 210. Now the good thing about using salt in this way is that it's not going to burn, so it's not going to suddenly burst into flames. So it's heated up really high. I've checked the temperature. Next stage is to actually throw out our rice in, and it should go pop, 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 pop. And next thing you know, we should have a bowl full of Rice Krispies. So let's see how much Rice Krispies we actually get from this tiny, about 2 spoonfuls of rice. And this will give you an idea of how much product these guys make off just a relatively small amount of actual ingredients. So here's roughly our 2 spoonfuls of rice. Let's see how much we get out of it. So I'm going to have to work quickly, because once it's at this temperature, it will go from raw to cook to burn pretty quick, so we've got to work really fast. So here we go. Put it in. Hear it? So we can see it and we can hear it. Boom. Look at that. Just like magic. No fancy machine like I've seen some people firing it through like a cannon. No. Boom. Look at that. Look how much we got from that. Use our special sieve. Boom. Just like that. Perfect Rice Krispies. Completely natural. Nothing added, nothing taken away, no additives. Look at that. Boom. Now if some of them are a little bit overcooked, you can bin the ones that get a little bit overcooked, because the ones that are left in at the bottom, they're in the heat the longest. So if they're a little bit too dark, you can always just bin those, so I'm going to bin those ones. And then we check to see, yeah, see there's a few more in here. Again, Just sieve that off, a little bit overdone. But you can just put them away just like that. And there we go. And what have we got? I'm going to zoom the camera out so you can see exactly how much Rice Krispies we got from 2 spoonfuls of rice. And there we go. So, 2 spoonfuls of rice. 2 spoonfuls of rice. And look what we've got. A whole bowl of Rice Krispies. Let's actually put it in a bowl to see, an actual breakfast bowl, to see exactly how many bowls of Rice Krispies we get. Now from our 2 spoonfuls of literal rice, raw rice grains, right, our parboiled rice, we have 2 bowls of Rice Krispies. What would be considered a regular portion size? Now you could probably squash one up into the other, but you wouldn't, by the time you put milk in there, you wouldn't have that much. So we got literally 2 portions of actual Rice Krispies. Now before I try it, what's amazing with this is that when you actually look at all the ingredients in actual Rice Krispies, the sugar and the salt and this and that, and then when you actually explore further and see the process that they use to actually make it, it's crazy. When you think that from watching this video based in rural India, they've got a Rice Krispies product which looks, smells, and wow, that's incredible. Looks, smells, and tastes like Rice Krispies. Now, oh, this is lovely. They've got a tiny little slight salt flavour on it because of what you cooked it in, which is just lovely. But if you put it with milk and a bit of sugar, and I gave it to somebody, they would not tell, I don't think, that I'd made this product. And from just 2 spoonfuls of rice, I've got 2 bowls of Rice Krispies. That's crazy. So it makes you realise just how much, or rather, how little actual product is in a whole box of Rice Krispies, and exactly how much money that they make per box. And what's interesting is that you can really make it naturally. This is just pure rice that's been heated. That's crazy. Pure rice that's been heated, and this is, I'm getting closer. These are delicious, perfectly cooked Rice Krispies. Be eaten as a snack. Oh, use a snack, or use it as a product to make something. So there you go. Thank you, India, because if I didn't see those videos of you guys doing it in that rural setting, I'd have had no idea that you can make such a tasty cereal product in such a simple way using simple methods. No chemicals, no big machinery involved, just simple ingredients. So once more, if you want to try this yourself, obviously you can go and buy all these ingredients individually. I'll leave a link to this in the description, because I'm going to put together a little bit of a kit that makes it a little bit interesting. So I've sourced a sieve which is a perfect mesh size to strain off the sand. I'll source some black salt and some special parboiled rice. I'm going to put together a kit along with step-by-step instructions so you can make this simple product yourself, or you can give it as a gift. Okay, it's fun to do. So I can't beat, it's really Moorish. As always, in order for me to give out maximum respect, I'm going to leave links to some of the videos that I use to help me learn how to make this particular product, because I saw some wonderful videos. Not all of them were in English, so I had to sort of figure it out. That plus a little bit of Wikipedia. So I'm going to leave some links to some of the videos in the description below. I'm going to leave a link to everything I've used, to the scoop. I'm going to put together an actual Rice Krispie making kit that you can buy, so you have all the ingredients: the black salt, the parboiled rice, the special scoop, which is just really quick to be able to scoop it out. I'm going to put that together and leave that, also a link to how you can get hold of that, in the description below. So I got a really good feeling about this one. Let's crank this one up to 1 million views. I'm that serious. I'm that excited about it. I love learning stuff. So I'm that excited about this one. Let's crank it up. Next, I'm going to have a go. There's no stopping me now. I figured out how to make Rice Krispies. Next, I'm going to have a go at cornflakes. I'm going to make some cornflakes. That might take a little bit more work, but I'm going to try cornflakes. I'm going to go brown flakes. In fact, I'm going to do a whole series on how to make your own cereal. Look out for that. As always, my name is Mr. Liebert, but you can call me Sir.